Hold up. Wait a minute.
This is Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Let's take a trip around the curve. Hey, hi everybody. How you doing? Listen, did you know that Marilyn Monroe was an icon not only for her looks and her career, but she was an African American and LGBTQ activist. And did you know that Masters of the Universe is dropping? And did you also know that Ask E. Jean Carroll, the documentary about the woman who sued Donald Trump and won for sexual harassment, is all dropping this week? I know you didn't, and that's why I'm here. I'm Carla Renata, the Curvy Film Critic, and what I do here is I talk about reviews and I talk to people above and below the line in the film industry. I'm so happy that you could join me today, and I'm looking forward to talking with you. We're going to start out with a little Marilyn 100 and talk about Marilyn Monroe. I'm also going to say happy Pride Month and happy Black Music Month. So it's only fitting that Marilyn Monroe's birthday would fall during Pride Month. I love this for her. And you can go to the Marilyn Remember fan club to hear more about her. But what I wanted to tell you about her is this. She had a moment in her career where she was at a restaurant with Ella Fitzgerald, who was a legendary jazz vocalist, and they didn't want to seat Ella Fitzgerald, and Marilyn, advocated for her, and they ended up letting her sit down anyway. So it was like, yay! But they had a whole bunch of celebrations. They talked about it ad nauseum yesterday. But the thing that cracked me up the most about the Marilyn celebration is that here in Los Angeles, this happened. If I can get this picture to play, there we go. A bunch of people dressed up as Marilyn, and they made history in the Guinness Book of World Records doing so. I thought that was absolutely hilarious and wanted to bring some light to that. In today's show, I usually talk about what I did the week before leading up into the films that we're talking about. But the films we're going to be talking about today is we're not only going to get into Masters of the Universe, and we talked a little bit about Marilyn, but we're going to talk about the breadwinner. And I have an interview with Nate Bargatze and Mandy Moore that I did with them during a junket not too long ago. We're going to review Masters of the Universe. As I said, I don't know why this is being so slow and weird. It's being really weird. I'm having technical issues these days. Masters of the Universe. But this is what I did last week. So a girlfriend of mine from New York, her name is Stephanie Pope, and she played the Catalina Jazz Club. That's her right there in that photograph. She is a legendary Broadway diva. She's been in many Bob Fosse productions and was the standby for Cheetah Rivera in the original Broadway production of Kiss of the Spider Woman, which was made into a feature film this last year that starred Jennifer Lopez. But Stephanie Pope stood by for Cheetah Rivera, and she was absolutely awesome. And that's a picture of the room where she did her set. So I went to see her. Then I hopped on over to the Television Academy Honors, where they honored a bunch of people. But one of the things I was really excited about them honoring is a film that I've talked about here ad nauseum called Deaf President Now. And it was given a Television Academy Emmy honor. And I was so happy and proud to be there for that. Then I hopped on over to see my friends in Black and Blue. Black and Blue is what they're singing in that picture in Ain't Misbehavin', which was playing at the Ebony Repertory Theater. It stars Lettucey and my good girlfriend Connie Jackson right there. And yeah, and so this was us afterwards, kind of hanging out, where we ran into Tony Award winner Keisha Lewis. And do I have another picture? I may have another picture in here, but I don't. But what I did want to tell you is I loved going to see Ain't Misbehaving because your girl has been in Ain't Misbehaving 4 times, and this is one of the pictures from when I did it. That's me in the middle. Look how little I was. I look like a little pencil. Anyway, and then after I did all of that, I hopped on over to the celebration of LGBTQ cinema and television, in which I watched my good girlfriend Gina Yashere pick up an award along with her castmates for Star Trek. And that was pretty much what I did last week, right? So let's get into the reviews. There's a film that is out now. It's called Pressure. It's directed by Anthony Modest. It stars Andrew Scott and Brendan Fraser, and it focuses on the tense 72 hours before D-Day when they had to decide whether to launch the invasion based on a critical weather forecast. It explores the immense responsibility and pressure on STAG to provide an accurate forecast, which was crucial for the success of Operation Overlord. It also stars Carrie Condon in addition to Andrew Scott and Brendan Fraser. It's a drama about leadership, responsibility, and a high stakes decision making during World War II. It's PG-13 rating and it runs at about 100 minutes. This is what I want to tell you about this film. We have two performances in this film that are absolutely amazing. Adam Scott plays the meteorologist along with, and I forgot to mention Chris Messina. Adam Scott and Chris Messina play these two meteorologists that are helping to predict what the weather is going to be to decide whether or not D-Day can actually happen in real time. So their performances in this film are crazy. The title of the film, Pressure, there's a lot of pressure watching it, because what this did is, I know for me, it was kind of fascinating to watch how the weather predicted whether or not we were going to go to war, in the same manner in which the mathematics were important to the film Hidden Figures, that starred my friend Octavia Spencer and Taraji P. Henson and Janelle Monáe. I was fascinated by that. And it was really quite interesting how, predicting how math was predicting space figures to come back down to Earth, and how weather was predicting whether or not these guys would have visibility in order to take down the enemy during World War II. It's a chapter in history that has yet again gone unnoticed and unacknowledged, and it proves how eager certain people in this country are that would rather us not know history. And this is history that isn't even race based. It's just straight up history. I had never heard this before in my life. I don't think y'all probably knew about it either. But it amazes me how people will forego telling history and root more for their ego than anything else, is what I was left when I was watching this film. It also left me with the fact that Carrie Condon is in this film as well. She's literally the only female in the film, but it also shows that as Summersby, the character that she plays, she is the executive assistant to Eisenhower, which Brendan Fraser is playing. And she's holding it down. She holds the whole film down. She holds it down for the meteorologist. She holds it down for Eisenhower. She's holding it down for everyone in that film. And I think that her part is very, people will see it and they won't understand just how crucial her part is to that film, Carrie Condon in that film. Damian Lewis is also in the film, and you might know him from when he was on Homeland with Claire Danes. Loved him in that show. He's an Emmy Award winner now for that role. But this is a very fascinating film, and I highly suggest you all check it out. Again, the film is called Pressure, and it is in theaters right now. Ask E. Jean. Let me talk about this bad boy for a second. So let me come back on camera for you. Ask E. Jean is at AMC theaters only, and it's directed by Ivy Mirapal. And what it is that, so back in 2019, right before the world went crazy, there was this journalist, advice columnist, talk show host named E. Jean Carroll. And this film focused, this is a documentary, it focuses on her career and the successful lawsuit that she had against Donald Trump. The film covers her journey into a trailblazing magazine editor, from a trailblazing magazine editor to a public figure who stood up to power, becoming the only woman, check it out, she is the only woman to beat Trump in court, not once, but twice, but she still hasn't been paid. Are we surprised by that? No, we not. It explores her life, her famous elk advice column, and her fight for the truth, juxtaposing her advice with her own actions in the face of sexual assault. The biggest takeaway that I got from this is that when she was sexually assaulted um, by this man in a Bergdorf Goodman dressing room, her brain couldn't process what was happening in order to get out. And then when she did get the presence of mind to get out, she went and shared it with her friend, and both her and her friend decided that they weren't going to say anything. Because you have to understand that during the time period that this took place, if a woman said, somebody attacked me, somebody raped me, somebody touched me inappropriately, the first thing that people would ask you is, well, what did you do? What did you have on? Did you have on a lot of makeup? Did you come on to him? Did you try to kiss him? They automatically flip it around on you. So a lot of women during that time didn't speak up. And I know people now are like, why are they bringing it up now? Because back then you couldn't bring it up. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was in a situation very similar to that with someone that I worked for. That was my boss. And I got out of that situation and I never told anybody. I never mentioned this man's name. I never told anybody what happened because I knew that if I did, it would have ruined my career. My career would have come to a full screeching halt. I promise you. So if you have the opportunity to see Ask E. Jean at an AMC theater, please just do it to educate yourself. And I'm speaking very loudly to the women that watch and listen to this podcast because it's going to help you. I promise you. It'll help you. If nothing else, it'll help you learn what to look for and it'll make you be a little braver in the process. All right, let's talk about the breadwinner before I get into Masters of the Universe, which I know y'all have been popping in and out to hear me talk about that, and I got lots to say about that. So The Breadwinner is a Sony Pictures joint. It's directed by Eric Apel and it stars Mandy Moore and Nate Bargatze. If that name sounds familiar to you, those names, Nate Bargatze is a legendary comedian in the 21st century. He's had more Netflix comedy specials than I can shake a hand at. And we talk a little bit about, some things, some history that he's made in that regard. And Mandy Moore is the mom or not the mom, but she is one of the siblings in the now defunct NBC Emmy Award winning series, This Is Us. So what I will say is this is a comedy film that stars these two, where this stay-at-home dad has to manage his household after his wife gets a big deal on Shark Tank. Can I just tell you, I was living for the fact that they talked about Shark Tank because that's my show. And it forces him to learn how to run the house while she's away. Now, as I'm watching this film, it's funny and it's on brand for Nate Bargatze's humor. It gave me 21st century vibes of Mr. Mom is kind of melting with Mrs. Doubtfire without the drag. And it's comical and it doesn't take itself too seriously. The kids are hilarious. I just wish that we had been able to see more of, no pun intended, Mandy Moore in the film because she was kind of fantabulous. But before I get on to Masters of the Universe, I want you to hear this interview that I did with Mandy and Nate. And then, before I even get into Masters Universe, I'm going to talk about the Tribeca Film Festival. I'm going to give you a little preview to that because that is coming up this weekend. So take a look and a listen to this interview that I did with Mandy Moore and Nate Bargatze around The Breadwinner. So listen, y'all, we doing something a little different today.
Sure.
They gonna cook and I'm gonna talk.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's how this gonna work.
All right.
So they're gonna make some pancakes and we're gonna talk about the breadwinner. Is that cool?
We
Yeah,
invited
very cool.
you to our kitchen. Welcome
Yeah.
to our
I
kitchen.
love it.
Yeah, we thought we'd do something a little different. This is Nate's first feature film.
Yes.
I told him this is what happens at all press junkets. We make
Yeah.
breakfast all the time.
I think it's his
Totally
Nate's first
normal.
time cooking.
Yeah, well,
It's that
might
too.
be.
It's a mix
It
of
might
the.
be
It's a
your
mix
first
of
time
both.
cooking. So we're just gonna like jump into making a little pancake. You ask questions and we'll just.
All right, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
So Mandy, I know that you sang for a minute, or you
I did.
still sing.
I do. On occasion.
What would your theme song be for the breadwinner? Like, what kind of like vibe would you have if you had to sing something about the film?
Gosh, if I had to sing something about the
Yeah.
film, that's a good question. I feel like it would be some sort of like empowered anthem about how like moms can do it all and dads can too, something. The funny thing is though, so in the film they actually have my old song Candy. It's in one of the scenes with the girls, and the funny part was the sweet girls who play our daughters, they clearly don't know the song at all because it's like 20 something years old,
Right.
well before they were born.
Right.
But they found the song and like made up a little dance on set and showed me like on the last day. I know, it was adorable. So it's funny that it ended up being in the film as well.
I need
Full
some
circle.
footage about that.
Oh
And-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it. It'll come
Yeah.
out for sure.
I'm gonna need that shared.
Okay.
And Nate,
Yeah.
you've been the highest grossing comedian for 2024, 2025. We gonna go for 2026 or what's
I
happening?
mean, we're trying to keep rolling, you know?
We gonna
Why would
keep
we
it
want to
moving?
break it? The streak, you know, if the streak's going, let's just keep going.
And there's that whole thing about Shark Tank, which is one of my favorite shows.
Oh,
It's
me
amazing.
too.
Favorite shows ever. I don't have anything I'm gonna invent, but if you guys had to invent something for Shark Tank, what would you take to the sharks?
Easier way to make these pancakes.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I have to tell you, like that was one of the most nerve-wracking parts of the entire shoot. Actually, like my entire life, like walking down the plank, knowing that those doors are going to automatically open and like the sharks are going to be sitting there. It was very intimidating. So.
It was like a real, like, she really, like, was, like, on Shark Tank, because they're all there.
Yeah, they're
And
all
it's-
there.
it
It's
felt-
filmed during an episode
Yeah, so
of
it
like
felt like that, she felt that pressure.
the stakes
and
were
all
so
that. Yeah, it was
high.
crazy.
So I have no idea what I would bring to them. I feel like anything would pale in comparison.
But you were bringing up the rear coming in there. Were you feeling the pressure too?
Walking down that thing, yeah, when you walk out there and they're all sitting there and they're like, they're just so good at, we wrote stuff, but they were able to like just improv and
Oh,
like,
totally.
and become their own thing in this. So you very much feel you're in their world. Walking down that thing, yeah, when you walk out there and they're all sitting there and they're like, they're just so good at, we wrote stuff, but they were able to like just improv and
Oh,
like,
totally.
and become their own thing in this. So you very much feel you're in their world. So we're gonna flip the pancake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
You
kind
wanna-
of like
you wanna
jump.
flip it?
No,
Yeah.
We're
Listen.
jumping ahead like in all good cooking shows where the food is sort of, for time purposes, already
Pancake's
done.
been here for 2 weeks. All right.
I hate you.
guess-
Look, I'm good at breakfast, but pancakes are just not my thing.
I'm not so good at the flip, so I'm glad they kind of did all the hard work for us.
I can make
Although-
sweet potato pancakes, but that's about it.
Oh, sweet potato pancakes? I want some sweet potato
Yes,
pancakes.
girl, sweet potato pancakes. I got a
sounds-
recipe from the Chew when it was on the air.
Oh yeah.
That was my jam, yes. And I did this thing where I made recipes from the Chew every day.
Yeah?
For like a month, just to see if I could.
Yeah.
And did it work out?
It was great.
Oh,
I made
I
it for my mother and my boyfriend
love
at the time. It was a
Oh,
wonderful.
that's awesome.
So both of you, you're a parent, right?
I am, yes.
And you're a parent,
I
right?
am.
So with these kids on set, how did you gel with them?
I feel like I've had the
I never
good
did.
fortune. Yeah, he didn't.
But it was no.
Can't
Yeah.
you tell in the
you did,
movie there's like
because-
Yes, you
absolutely
did.
no
You gelled with
chemistry
them.
between them?
We hit it off unbelievably. They hit it off so good. And then we
Yeah, they
hit
were
it-
like a little unit,
Yeah,
the
they
three of
were.
them.
They were.
So
We had the
cute.
most fun with them. They've all come to one of my shows now. I've seen them all where they live, and their families come to shows. And they taught me a lot. I would ask them questions about acting
yeah.
because I didn't know what to do, so I would ask.
They kept you on your toes
They
too.
kept
I
me
feel
on my
like
toes.
What was their
immediately.
advice?
It's about like where you stand. I would just watch it. Hitting the mark was
Yeah.
tough for me.
They led by
'cause you're
example.
supposed to
Where
like.
were you trying to go, Nate?
I would be like if I was like here, I would, and they're like, well, back off a little bit, and they go, it's a table, and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know how to stand near, if you're acting like this, and you go, and I make a pancake like this, and they say that doesn't look natural, and I go, all right,
And so you would just quit?
Yeah. I would just stop.
You'd walk off set.
It's all CGI of me, where it's all
All AI.
I'm looking at y'all's skin and it's all dewy and glowy. I'm like, I know this has nothing to do with the breadwinner or the movie, but what is the skin routine here?
Thank you.
Because y'all's faces are like pow.
Nate, I was looking at your skin. You have
Your
really
skin
good
is
skin.
glowing.
Yeah.
use straight body lotion.
Yep. That's it. Of course.
I just
Of
like
course.
Is it
hotel lotion.
cocoa butter?
Just whatever you have around.
I think it's Nivea.
Oh,
All right.
you lucky
What we gonna
dog.
do with these pancakes here?
All right, so this is
In a perfect world.
yes.
World.
Yes.
And a
This
perfect.
is the big reveal
Pancake.
of what
Seems like a
my
lot.
pancakes would look like.
Those are beautiful.
Right?
Are these not beautiful?
No, boo.
Oh, what is
No,
This wasn't on the chew?
That looks like a
You're
ghost.
telling me this wasn't on the
That
chew?
looks like a Ghostbusters pancake. I'm so
It
sorry.
is a ghost. That's the best way I've heard it described.
Yeah.
It is a Ghostbusters pancake. More of that.
Da, 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 da. Okay, anyway, that does it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me some time and making me some beautiful paint. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to ingest that with my brother, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Please take it home.
You're
put it in
welcome.
your
You're
purse.
welcome to mine.
Yeah.
Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And that's a cut, folks. That's a cut.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
you're
so much.
welcome. You're
Yeah.
welcome so
Thank
much.
you.
That was hilarious. I had so much fun with them. Again, The Breadwinner is a Sony Pictures joint. It's in theaters right now. Now, the Tribeca Film Festival happens every year and it's coming up this weekend. It starts on June 4th, or maybe June 3rd. I think it's June 4th, though. And is celebrating, in addition to everything else, is celebrating 25 years. It's 25 years of the Tribeca Film Festival. This is a festival that Robert De Niro started in New York City, and it is getting an anniversary treatment of epic proportions because the opening night film is going to be this film by Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's a documentary. It is called Earth, Wind, and Fire to be Celestial versus the Weight of the World. I cannot wait to see this because this is also going to be one of the films that's at the DC Docs Festival, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit as well. And then, of course, the closing night film is a film centered around Alicia Keys. It's called Alicia Keys' Girls from Hell Kitchen. Now, you know that Hell's Kitchen, you know that documentaries are my thing. So I'm just going to get into a couple of them that I think you guys might be interested in seeing. Some of these films you might actually be able to see virtually as well, because ever since the pandemic, some of the festivals do a little virtual action as well. This film, Hanging by a Wire, I showed you guys during Sundance, and it centers around a routine school commute that turns terrifying when this cable car that you're looking at, the wire snaps, leaving the 8 people in that car, including 6 schoolboys, dangling 900 feet above a ravine in the remote Himalayan foothills, where 10 hours before the remaining cable is expected to fail, a group of rescuers races to save them. Oh my God, it is crazy. And we literally just had a situation very similar to this happen this week in another part of the world. Kudos to the people that, survive, rescue and help these people survive and thrive later on in life. This film, The Lorraine, is centered around the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, the site of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and how its remarkable owners, Walter and Lori Bailey, went on a crusade to make the hotel into a civil rights museum after he died. It is directed by documentarian Sam Pollard, who just received a legendary Legend Emmy this week. So congratulations, Sam Pollard. He's one of my favorite documentarians, and I would be remiss without talking about that. I'm also excited to see Mario, Ronald Reagan's America, set the stage for Mario Cuomo, the son of Italian immigrants who rose to become governor of New York. In his defining 1984 DNC, Democratic National Convention speech, he offered a powerful vision of leadership rooted in compassion. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I'm also looking forward to seeing some of these films I did see. So I did watch The Lorraine, I did watch Mario, I did watch Hanging by a Wire, and I watched this one. This is Sarah Bareilles. She is a Grammy Award winning recording artist. She had a show that was on Broadway called Waitress. It won a buttload of Tonys and was very well received in the Broadway community. Now, what I will say about this film is that 7 years after her Grammy Award winning Amidst the Chaos, she reunites with her closest collaborators to record a new album. And what emerges is an intimate process that lays bare the musician's deep connection and inspirations in Tribeca alum Josh Alexander's moving music documentary. I'm going to come back on camera for this one for just a second because it's just, I watched this documentary and was in the ugly cry because it says good grief. And this documentary is literally about how Sarah Bareilles is processing the grief of her closest collaborator, her closest friend, her manager through all of this. And she gets together with people that know him, that were close to him as well. And they embark upon the process of producing an album where most of the songs on the album are centered around grief. Baby, I was in the ugly cry. I really hope that this one sees the light of day at some point because it was something, and I really enjoyed watching it. Another film that I saw, I don't think I have a picture of that one though. I did see this narrative film called Lucy Schulman. That's Lucy on the right there. It was hilarious. It's a very, very funny comedy about this young lady who she has I don't know how to put it. She oftentimes, when she starts dating someone, she forgets about her friends and throws herself wholeheartedly into these relationships and loses herself. So it's a journey about her finding herself, coming into herself, learning how to live independently from her dad and from her friends. And it's a really beautiful, it's a beautifully, beautifully crafted story. And I think that's about it. There's a couple of other ones that I saw, but I don't want to tell you about all of them. I'll save some of them for when the actual documentary comes out. But again, this is a preview of Tribeca 25, which will be hitting New York City this week, toward the end of the week. You can go to my website, which is scrolling down there at the bottom, to see the reviews for all of those things. And I am looking forward to you guys seeing that as well. All right, so let me get into what y'all came over here for. Y'all came over here for me to talk about this movie and this movie only. And we're going to get into it right now. Masters of the Freaking Universe. So let me tell you what this is about. This Masters of the Universe is kind of getting the Barbie treatment. So what I mean by that is a couple of years ago, the studios came out with a film that centered around Barbie. As we all know, Barbie is a doll. They took a whole film and made a whole film about Barbie. It was campy. It was hilarious. It was heartfelt. It was all of the things. And it was kind of like a little musical. It had all these musical numbers and people were breaking out in the song. I was there for all of it. But now we have come, and now this studio is coming out with Masters of the Universe. And it's directed by Travis Knight, and it stars Nicholas Galitzine, Idris Elba, Camila Mendez, and Jared Leto. Now, what I'll tell you is this is the plot if you don't already know. This is based on a toy as well, a whole series of toys. One in particular, the He-Man toy, was a big, big deal for a lot of kids, just like G.I. Joe was. And there was a movie about G.I. Joe too. But this plot follows Prince Adam, who would be Nicholas Galatine, who was stranded on Earth as a child, and he rediscovers his magical power sword and is called back to his home planet of Eternia to fight Skeletor, who's played by Jared Leto, and save his world. This film is a reboot of the franchise. Now, the original film was done in 1987, and it starred Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. And where Barbie is forced to reconsider Barbie Land's values after paying a visit to the real world, this film Adam is forced to uphold the real world's values after being zapped back to a fantasy land whose greatest warriors have been utterly demoralized by their insufficient physical force. Now, a couple of weeks ago, not a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, I was invited. I went to CinemaCon, which is kind of like, it's kind of like Comic Con, but for theater owners. And so I went to CinemaCon, and when we were there, I got to speak to Nicholas and Camila and Travis and some of the producers, and they showed us 3 clips of the film, which were really crazy. They showed us the fight scene on the bridge, and they showed us a couple of other things. What I really like about Masters of the Universe is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. It understands exactly what it is and the world that it's in, and it goes right there. And it's mostly CGI. So, you know, it's no surprise there, as Travis Knight has a huge connection to the Leica studio, which is known for that type of thing. Jared Leto is out of control as Skeletor. That's all I'm going to say about that. And Idris Elba not being a sidekick as a black man in this franchise is in one of the main protagonists. I was there for all of that. Camila Mendez is holding her own. The fight scenes are everything, but honey, it's about that loincloth, those abs, and that hair on Nick Galitzine. He is giving you 1970s hair, and I was there for all of it. I know that there are people that are going to watch this that are huge fans of this franchise, that saw the 1987 film, that had a He-Man doll, that are going to feel some kind of way about the film. But your girl over here, I had a good time. It was fun. It was, like I said, it didn't take itself too seriously. It was comical. There's some life lessons in there along the way. I'm trying to skirt around not spoiling it for you so that you will actually see the film, but I enjoyed it. So if you are into, you know, comic books and dolls and those types of properties, you're going to get your whole life when you go to see Masters of the Universe this weekend in the theaters. And that's all I have to say about that. So let's recap, shall we? Masters of the Universe is hitting theaters this weekend. Tribeca Film Festival is hitting this weekend as well. Opening night is a documentary about Earth, Wind, and Fire, and closing night is a film centered around Alicia Keys. The Breadwinner with Mandy Moore and Nate Bargatze is in theaters right now. And I just wanted to show y'all this picture because I think it's cute. That's me and Nate laughing. I just thought that was really cute. And I think that does it. When I come back, because I'm actually going to come back in a week from now, and I'm not going to come back the week after that. So I'll be here. Let me pull the calendar up so I can tell you when I'm actually going to be here. So I'm going to be back here on June 7th to talk about the DC Docs Festival, which is happening next weekend, in addition to these films. I'm not going to talk about Scary Movie because I'm going to see Scary Movie tomorrow. So I'll talk about Scary Movie this weekend. Toy Story 5 is coming up, so I'll be talking about that at some point. Disclosure Day is happening. So hopefully I would have been able to see the film when I come back. And that stars Emily Blunt, my girl. And yeah, we love that. It's a new Steven Spielberg film. It's supposed to be really, really, really good. And then I will talk about the DC Docs Festival, as I had mentioned. And I also have exclusive interviews with the cast of RuPaul's Stop That Train. It'll only be in theaters on June 12th. And I got a chance to sit down and talk to Miss Ginger and Miss Jujubee and these lovely ladies right here. So when I come back, you guys, I will be talking about all of those things. And yeah, that is it. So if you're just tuning in and this is your first time joining me, I'm Carla Renata. I'm the Curvy Film Critic. I talk to people above and below the line in the film industry. Sometimes I talk to people in the TV industry. It depends on what week and what day it is. And give me a big thumbs up if you are watching this on YouTube. Click that bell for notifications. And let's once again say a happy birthday to who? Miss Marilyn Monroe. All right. Take care. Love, peace, and hair grease. And deuces until the next time. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.
Hold up. Wait a minute. wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love, peace,